stream. Well, we had what is going on? They did say the Wi-Fi absolutely is a little bit. The Wi-Fi is not as good as a direct connection. Look at the Wi-Fi signal. Oh yeah. So we got it. We probably need to move that closer. We didn't do that. That's the only thing we didn't do. But anyway, welcome you guys. Hey, good evening. How y'all doing? We are finally on. I'd like to introduce my counterparts, Marcia. Hi. And Alicia. So today, I don't even know. Let me go. So we have a license. Oh, is this important?
Yeah, and everything that just kind of comes flooding at you at once. And how do you handle that?
Right. What do you do?
So new realtors or anybody thinking about getting your license, this is going to be geared toward you because it gets real once you pass that test. Swirl it, they pay for sponsorship.
Alicia took care of it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Can I have a little okay, talk about who this is. I hope it tastes a little good.
I know so. We have different brands. That's the one I brought in.
All right.
But that one is courtesy of Antonio Valdez, which has his own wine collection and does outdoor activities. So very proud of him, an Emerson alumni. And we are enjoying his product tonight.
Let's see. Hold on 1 second. I'll tell you.
Yeah, I've never had it. This was one of the 3 that I from.
Yes.
It's great.
Absolutely. Highly recommended. We need to get them on some paying sponsorships.
Let's call it.
This is good.
Let's call it.
I like this.
I'll get them on the line.
All right, y'all. You know I'm on this weight loss journey. Y'all see I'm like wilting away in front of y'all. I mean, like, it's for real. It's not a joke nor a game. I think health is wealth, and I did want to bring that up because sometimes we are always looking to be better, do better, and become better. I'm trying to give y'all all a little bit of, here, there, everywhere.
Right.
So did you go on here? It did. That's fine. We're on the phone. Mm-hmm. So anyway, what I was going to say is it is imperative. I don't know where that came from. It is imperative that we all take care of ourselves. I did have a procedure done. When they tell you that when you start seeing your friends pass away, when people are in business with you and they start to have bad health issues and things go on, you start to take some things seriously. And I lost a close friend, Sean Wilson, not too long ago, and I had to make a decision personally. Did I want to live longer? My doctor said mortality versus morbidity, and it was very important to me that I be here for my boys, and to see grandchildren, get older and things. So I didn't need to be taken out by something if I could prevent it that was unexpected. So I took a little bit, we always are running around making our careers our life and putting time into the things that are what we deem as important. But our health goes by the wayside. So I did take heed to some friends, and I went to them. I saw myself trying to just do a little bit better with myself. So I actually lost a lot of weight. I will continue to be on this journey. If anyone wants to talk about that, that's another topic. How do you do, weight loss and how it was done, or what procedure I had, and what is bariatric surgery, and what does that look like for you? We can have a conversation about that as well. I'm done with that.
Oh, you know, right?
I'm done.
Okay.
I mean,
listen. When we talk, since we talking about sex,
we can talk about. Well, we didn't know that. Well, she's beautiful, so her husband's very
Speaking
blessed.
of surgery, so
But it's whatever it takes at times. Whatever it
You did a
takes.
great job. I'm
You
thankful
look
Johns Hopkins
absolutely phenomenal.
working my face out. So they worked it out.
They did.
Thank you.
I don't want to be rude, or it wasn't. It was not my intention to. I'm gonna have to move this back a little bit so we can all be in this.
So Alicia, do you want to kick off like something that you faced when you first got your license and you didn't know, you don't know what you don't know until
Correct.
Yeah.
So when I first got my license, I always shared a story on. It was really, really a tough go at it. Really a rough go at it. Walking into the unknown, having zero idea of kind of what that day-to-day looked like. What did I need to do to build business? Who could I turn to for resources? It just wasn't there. All they'll say, oh, you'll get a mentor. Oh, your broker will help you. Oh, you'll do this. But not realizing, those folks that sometimes that's supposed to help you is not always there. So what I quickly learned to do was realize you, meaning myself, I had to quickly understand what did it take to build my business, my brand. What did that look like? Where was my clients coming from? Even though Maryland is my home state, born and raised, my first state that I was licensed in was South Carolina. So, which meant I did not have a sphere of influence. I did not have friends. All of those things that they tell you to use, I didn't have. So for me, it was, what did that look like? How do I build that sphere? How do I build those friends? So as you get started, you have to quickly realize this is your business, this is your brand. And you have to begin to chart the path on how you will overcome those obstacles, even if it means, hiring a mentor, hiring a coach, and, even creating a business plan, which a lot of agents do not do, but those business plans are just as important.
I definitely believe that. I mean, I actually was one of those fly by the seat of my pants first.
Yeah.
With someone that was in church, and I didn't have a business plan. I just wanted to make sure that I just got the person that I could under the contract some kind of way. So the first piece of business that I had was a listing. I was a young lady thinking about moving. I was like, okay. And I don't even know how I knew the listing agreement per turn, but I didn't understand the steps that it took to list in real estate school.
Okay.
It didn't really hit me how I would be able to navigate those waters. Everything does come at you like a fire hose. We have that much information, and that information that you receive is so abundantly overwhelming at first. You not only have to learn the information, but on top of learning the information, you have to not only, it's not that you can go out and just open a door and write a contract and go to settlement. Yeah. It's not that easy. So we want to kind of take a deep dive into what does that look like for you? What did it look like for us? My first transaction, the pages in the contract, I think now we up to like 36 pages, but
contract pretty much. And I'm laughing because my first deal was actually for sale by owner. Imagine that.
Wow.
Imagine that, a for sale by owner and off market.
And my first one, I decided I did not know that GBBR and Century Lock was tied together.
Right.
I didn't pay that GBBR dues
Right.
and went to show somebody a house, and that Century Lock was not nothing. And so I called GBBR because I'm calling Century Lock. This ain't call your association.
Right.
The man is standing there. I'm trying to get some space between me, him, and this black guy. So I called GBBR and I was. They're like, you ain't paying my dues. You need to pay your dues.
So what would you say the first thing you should do when you get your real estate license? I would say would get either a mentor. I mean, I think that's necessary. Imperative that you understand what you're doing, because people are trusting your expertise. And even though you're new, some people want to use the new person, yes. But other people want experienced people that understand what they're doing and how to do what they need to do to get their dreams and goals achieved.
So what would you tell a new agent on how to overcome that very obstacle?
The very first thing.
I'm new. I have no experience.
Get a firm.
How do you overcome that?
You need train. You need not only training, but you need guidance. 3 to 5 years at least that has done transactions. Not I've set my license and referral. Not I've been real estate ready, but I haven't done 2 deals. You need somebody 3 to 5 years in with at least 10 to 20 transactions at least, because you have to experience the basics. And what I say by the basics are, you have to know when you first get your real estate license, you need to join a board. That's the first thing. This is why we're going deeper. You need to join a board. That's the first thing you need to do. After you join the board, you need to make friends in all brokerages, not just one. You are not giving contracts to one brokerage. You are not making business. You're not creating business with one company. You are now not a secret agent, but an agent that has to get along with many people. So your bad attitude, your arrogant way, your I'm the crap kind of mentality, that all goes out the window.
Get rid of it.
Because you have to be humble enough that when you send Pete a contract, he's going to like you and he's going to respect you and work on his client's behalf. For you, your client, you, his client, and himself. Really not about us at all.
Just about the client.
You could actually help your client lose a contract.
Correct.
Because no one wants to work with the asshole.
But I don't know. You go ahead, Alicia.
No. First, I just had this very same scenario just this week. So I'm under contract on a deal, and when we first went under contract, the listing agent said to me, "My client leaves the country on XYZ date. Can you all make sure? Can we close a few days early, meaning a few days shy of the 30-day that it normally takes from contract to close?" So I said to her, "Sure, no problem. Great. A lot has already been done on the back end." And fast forward about a week ago, we got in basically a lender overlay, and we had to get an addendum signed by all parties.
What is a lender overlay?
I'm sorry, a lender overlay is when if a client if the client is pretty types of loans, and then when you work with certain lenders, they have their own requirements. So that's when we call them lender overlays. What, in addition to whatever the loans require versus what the lender requires. So fast forward, we had to get an addendum signed by both the seller and the listing, by the buyer and the seller. Well, my transaction coordinator tried to get this addendum from the listing side for almost a week. So I was in training all last week, so I had to kind of step back a bit and let the TC handle a lot of things. Well,
what is the TC?
Handle a lot of the emails last week. So I said to my transaction coordinator towards the end of the week, "Look, it's been a long week. I'm in training all week. I see your emails. settled down, tried to, get in my emails, get caught up, started sending these emails like, we need this doc. Well, in this case, it's been 7 days that you had at this point, I can stage trying to get this. As Pete said, the hardened attitude should go out the window. So what I was getting from this agent was this hardy attitude, like I'll do it when I feel like it. But in reality was she was shooting her client in the foot that had this timeline that we were trying to meet to ensure that we not only closed on time, but that her client was able to catch her flight and leave the country in peace. Not have to worry about a remote closing.
Well,
That answer was all just.
well, I know that in my instances, who do act hardy have either been trained to act that way, but in my experiences, more of the seasoned agents are the ones who can be kind of hardy. The newer agents don't even really know what's happening. If they are acting up, somebody taught them to act up. And most people don't even know
They
what's
too
going
new
on.
to understand.
Right, they don't even know what's going on. Normally they need help.
Help?
Yes, normally they need help. So, but no, you need to ask for help, and you do need to have a mentor. That's the best thing that ever happened. Because
One of the best mentors in our company is right here, y'all.
Oh, thank you.
So that is actually her name spoke before for her. I didn't really know Marcia like other than her name through business and understanding who she was through business. But I went to a Christmas party and I was able to meet her, and that was that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
When I come in contact with people that are making a difference, because you hear their names, you hear my name in the street, okay, big deal. But when you know people can get deals done and they help people and they're a blessing to other people, you hear that. And that's who you want to connect with, because guess what? Marcia is connected to so many new agents that have come her way that those agents I need to understand who they are. I need to know who they are, where they work in that I'm able to do business with them as well. And I like Marcia, so we're going to do business. But then if the people that are connected to her know me now, they'll be more apt to accept in my contracts if they get a listing. That's the whole thing. It's about relationship building. I always put on my things, I build relationships, not just clientele. Because this business is about relationship building. And if you don't know how to build a relationship, you cannot be a people person all day long. I don't like people. Okay. Well, if you want to be broke, stay not liking people. But if you want to love on people and love your pockets, which you make necessarily, but the benefit and byproduct of you working this business, the only way you're going to have people like you. You know what I mean? So your personality precedes you in this business. I met Alicia as well the same way. You understand? And when your name speaks volumes, you want to work with those people. Look, I can't put nobody under me. But we can connect like we are now. There is a way that you can connect with people. There is a path of success in everyone you meet that is on the same, let's say, mindset and wavelength that you are. You know what I'm saying? It might not be a client or a transaction.
It may be the agent.
It could be so many different things. Look, we're on a podcast, which is just totally different, out the realm of different things. And the whole thing is we're taking knowledge that we all have and bringing it to the forefront that we could be a blessing to someone.
Yes. And when you get your license, you need to have some money saved up, because in addition to the association fees that we told you about, which are like $750,
Correct.
you do have to pay for your Century Lock cards.
What else is that?
Interest,
So
right?
we're gonna write that down. So
Because
the first thing would be you need
gotta join the brokerage first because
Join
you
the
have
bro-
to join
Correct.
the association that your
Correct.
brokerage
You
is
have to
with.
be.
All right, so the
correct.
first thing is join a
Join your
brokerage.
brokerage.
And it's
Yeah.
also going to go by the area in which you're in. So, you know, in Baltimore, you have GBBR, which is Greater Baltimore. You have Hartford. You have PG County. You have Montgomery County.
G-Card.
You got G-Card. You have, which is
Salisbury.
Salisbury. Does
They have a group name.
I forget-
because I have
Coastal,
used
right.
their,
And then meaning if you're over the Eastern Shore, over the bridge, is
It's
a
coastal.
coastal. Correct. So there's various brokers that you may be required to use depending
Right.
on what you are with.
So let me break that down. Forms mean the forms that we do our contracts with.
Mhm.
They're delegated and separated by county.
Correct.
So you might have Anne Arundel County,
Mhm.
Carroll County, Hartford County.
Mhm.
You might have coastal.
Mhm.
You might have
G-Car.
Howard County. G-Car would be PG County.
Right.
So they're dividing us into different entities based on our laws,
Mhm.
because the laws county to county
Correct.
and from state to state.
Mhm.
That's why when we say some of us get licensed in multiple states,
Mhm.
not just to be able to do business across the board, but you have to have an understanding where people are coming from as well. Because we have a lot of transplant people from different places like Atlanta, New York,
Mhm.
DC,
Mhm.
and Maryland is its own entity.
Mhm.
Because you live next to DC don't mean you're licensed in DC.
Correct.
And just because you're licensed in Maryland doesn't mean you can do business in DC.
Correct.
So you have to get licensed in District of Columbia. And because Pennsylvania is right up the street,
Yep.
doesn't mean that you can do business in Pennsylvania. You have to understand the laws of Pennsylvania. So we have to be an expert at what we do. So the first thing would be join a brokerage.
Correct.
We are with EXP. That is our brokerage.
Yes, that is.
Yes.
Not that that's something to type in there.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was gonna do that. It just seemed like it was
And we
taking
must
over.
add that EXP is one of the fastest growing brokerages
In the world.
in the world.
In the world.
Our training is also unmatched, if we must say so ourselves.
What I am gonna say is, I'm sorry,
Mhm.
Marcia. I'm going to put her. I'm gonna put something in for and some information in this chat, so you can reach out and answers to the main things that we're talking about.
Yes.
Like, what do you have to join? Like, people really don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is the introduction to what you could do
Mhm.
in real estate.
Exactly.
And there's so many different dynamics. And we'll talk about
Yes.
what parts of real estate there are. We'll get to that like a little bit later, but we're gonna finish talking about what do you do once you join.
Right.
So the
So-
first thing would be
You join your brokerage. Your broker, if they accept you and they allow you to hang your license.
allow you.
Right.
It's not automatic.
Correct. If the broker allows you to hang your license there, they will tell you which. Now, EXP is different.
EXP is a monster.
EXP is
Most
different.
brokerages, let me just break this
Go
down. When I
ahead.
was a boutique brokerage, I had two boards, Howard County and Baltimore
Mhm.
County, meaning GBBR and Howard County.
Exactly.
That's all I, as an owner, was
So
paying
the
for.
thing.
GBBR is expensive. I mean, but they're great.
Mhm.
So you get what you pay for. I'm not saying anything bad, but then I had to have an alternative board,
Mhm.
which was Howard County, because a lot of people that I worked with liked Howard County. Here's the thing. And then I did Hartford. Let's move that out the way. But when you join a board, like a brokerage, the brokerages normally have 1 to maybe 3 boards. That's it. EXP has all of them.
Yes, we do.
We can join any. That means you can go over to Anne Arundel and join EXP, which is a benefit, because understand this: different places renew at different times, and you might have to pay $800 at GBBR, but you might be joining Anne Arundel at $450 this month. Because the renewal time is definitely all the jet. You need Maris, your boards, your
You
centralized.
need some boxes.
You need some
centralized
blocks.
boxes. You can
You need some signs. You need a couple things.
All of
So when you start this as a business,
And
it's a
journey.
business.
And I tell all of my new agents as well
Business.
that you have to invest in yourself.
Business.
This is your business. You have to invest in your business. You have to invest in your supplies. So I always use the example, as new agents, you're out every day, or you are out. That's funny. You're out marketing for business. So in that case, you want to make sure you have a sign. You want to make sure you have a lockbox. It could be just one. And more importantly, you want to also make sure that you have decent headshots. Your pictures ends up every way. We never know where our pictures are going to end up.
Never.
So yeah, that you invest in headshots. If you don't really have the money, find someone that can do decent, nice pictures, not just selfies, but nice pictures to use on your business cards, to use on social media. Take 200, and I understand you don't have it, but that's one of those things that makes you. I always tell my man, marketing yourself. It's something for your life. You don't have a lock box. You know, your mental, all health, and you are lock box. So invest.
You might not be able to use a lot of things and living this. Finish on this, but if you have a family that lives in a house, don't put a combo on that house.
Correct.
Not the combination lockbox on a house.
Correct.
That has, you need a central lock with security and understanding of when people are in and out that property.
Correct. So it can be monitored.
Antonio Valdez, let me just say this, y'all. He is not a sponsor yet, but he is definitely highly recommended and highly tasted. How about that one? Because I'm getting tore on this thing. Y'all, I'm enjoying. The bottle is almost half gone. This is called Sangria. Baby, she sounds like a murmur. She tastes sweet as pie. That baby is good. Here, okay, I'm sorry y'all for being ghetto, but it is what it is. It's good. It's good and good.
I'll make sure we get him on the line.
We're going to have to get him on the line. Because I done filled this glass about 3 times.
He has an event this weekend, too.
Okay, please do, because I'm going to support him. I'm definitely going to support him. It smells.
And there's something coming up in Atlanta as well.
So the first thing would be join a brokerage. The second thing would be join your boards. Huh? Because we've been talking about lending at the moment, sweetheart. Now we want to talk about something else?
We're talking about Century Lock.
Look, let me say this. We can do that too. This is how you do that. Yo, we been talking about lending. Finish with lending, okay? All right, we're going to finish with that. We're gonna talk about if this thing ever want to work, we gotta wait because the computer is slow. She's acting up.
What else happens that's over? I said my
where we work at? Yes,
What overwhelming for me was like having that first guy. Like I said, that Century Lock not working for him. I'm getting to places, can't get this man in the door. We both cracking up. He was first time home buyer. So we were experiencing so much hilarious stuff. I call him Pops today. His name is John Lennon. He was my first client. He called me his daughter. And we still talk 7 years. John Lennon, he was an older guy. But it was just it was amazing. It was amazing.
So we're gonna join the brokerage, y'all. That's number 1. Number 2, what we're gonna do? We're gonna join the association. Number 3 is
all that stuff you said.
We're gonna do our
supplies.
Support. No, I think we should do Central Lock first.
Yeah, I thought you thought.
Central Lock is back up. Let's back up. I would do Bright MLS before I do Central Lock.
Correct.
If you had to make a choice, website first. So it's important that you have your Bright MLS first. Let's just say it's going to be Kate, Bright, Alicia. Let's ask Marcia.
It's the database that real estate agents use to search for properties, whether it's lease, whether it's sale, whether it's commercial, multifamily. you name it. That is what realtors use to search for properties.
And-
Right, MLS.
And Bright MLS offers you many, many tools.
Absolutely.
At least y'all want to talk about the tools that's on Bright, because actually I think it's important. With your membership, you don't just get to search properties.
Correct.
No, I mean it's very serious because
It is serious.
we can comp, we can give a CMA,
Correct.
we have different things called we've had RPR,
Mm-hmm. And what's RPR?
our Realtor Property Resource. So pretty much it gives you the deep information like that's on ASTAT. It gives you information of how many houses, what are the statistics of the homes, how big or small they are. Are they in standard sale? Are they under disrepair? Are they auctioned? It breaks it all the way down, because when you're doing a comparative analysis or you're trying to understand how to price a home, you need details. And you cannot compare a home that has been just built to a home that has, what is it called when you're under distress?
Investor property.
Investor property or distress, or REO or foreclosure
Mhm.
property. They are completely different animals, and you cannot compare them the same. I have seen agents that are new try to put values on properties of non-comparable properties. That is serious,
Oh yeah.
because you're the expert and you're putting a price out there for your client that doesn't represent your client's property.
Correct.
That's serious. You can get a lawsuit for that.
Absolutely.
Because I'm pricing per a distressed property, and my house is 20 years old. And 20 years old is still a new home. I try to break this up a little bit so that we can understand the information that we get in between the things that we're doing. So we've done 1, brokerage join, 2, association join, 3, join Bright MLS. And right now,
we pay Bright what, quarterly?
Quarterly.
4 times, right?
Yes.
Quarterly. So Bright
Quarterly.
is due like $100 and something
every 3 months. So that's Bright. The next thing will be the centralized. Now you could do real estate without centralized in the beginning.
The
You
card,
could work with
the
your.
card, yeah, the box is
You
out.
need it. But what I could say is, if you have a good mentor, your mentor will probably be applying under their central, and you would definitely not go before they do. And you do not give out any codes to any properties.
Please.
I had an agent doing real estate for a very long time. He said, Mr. France, I heard your name all around the city, but are you going to give the client your code? Are you kidding me? For one transaction, I'm not losing my license, paying a fine, or going to jail. I'm not doing none of it.
Well,
You understand?
Look, I did ask you. My person told me I could give him the code. And then when I told him I couldn't, he told me I was the first and only realtor that ever denied him
No.
the code.
I'm talking about the other agent, the listing
Oh
agent.
no, I had
Said
a
it's me.
client.
The clients say that, oh, your investors from all over, they call you and say, they tell you you're not a good agent because you ain't giving out codes.
Yep.
Well, let me tell you something. Call me not a good agent, but look at my statistics.
Exactly.
About, I'm not a good agent there. And I ain't gonna be one if I gotta give out free codes. Because guess what? We have to hold the standard of this company, this business up. And if you're willing to just do whatever, people think they're wholesalers, retailers, investors, and they don't know what they're doing.
And until you have, I actually had a unrepresented buyer walk up on the driveway, and initially I thought they may have just been waiting for their agent. So as we finished our tour, left the home, and was locking up, they got out their car and kind of came towards me as if they were trying to get in. So of course I began to question them, like, "Hey, are you waiting for your agent? Are you
waiting for your agent?
First question. Or are you an agent? Because sometimes we cannot tell.
And don't take for granted you know.
That right. So I've gone to showings and seen folks standing on the porch, and it's like, one of your agent? Because sometimes you just can't tell. Well, in that instance, the other agent had given out the code. So the family said to me,
"No,
I have the code. We was just trying to get in." I said, "No, you're not. No, you're not. So I stood there until they left, turned the box where they couldn't get in, and then I called the listing agent on the property and let her know what had just transpired. And she was, she was really grateful. She was super grateful for the phone call.
I like it.
And then she, she was like, "Well, I'm on my way, and I'm on my way. I'm gonna switch out the boxes." So she came and put on a Century Lock box, the secured box that Pete just spoke of, just to ensure that would not happen again. Now, in this case, the property was empty, but however, we should never ever give out codes. It's a violation, and don't ever find yourself on that side. It's not safe.
I have
combo codes, but the only time that I use the combo box is after I'm under contract with my person. I take my Century off, I might put the combo on, but the only person getting the combo code because it's under contract is the person that's under contract.
Correct.
So nobody else would have that code, but I don't use it to start out. I don't use
Nobody is going to the property.
No, but if I need my Century, my box, but no.
I'm not challenging you on what you do.
I don't.
My way of doing business is not a mother freaker fracker is getting a code.
Correct.
If it's not me showing the property, it's an assistant or somebody that works for me.
Correct.
And the reason why I do that is because my license is on the line.
Correct.
And if anybody gets hurt or something happens,
Commercially at some listings, if I've taken my buyer to some listings, the numbers were already ready to go. So I didn't have to do nothing but open the box because somebody had left the code as it was. I don't know if they were setting it up for somebody to come and take the key, but the code was not scrambled.
So what you could do, honestly, and I'm not gonna put this out there for people, but if you have another agent that, let's just say you have a mentee and they don't have a central lock. And your mentee is actually listed on your showing as alternate agent that you said that could come with you, then you go take the code, the key out the box. You give it to your alternate agent, which would be your mentee. If you cannot be there, your mentee is then responsible for that key. Not to leave a note, even a key, to let your mentee show. And most people are very understanding and open and but you gotta communicate and at a very high level because this is a business. These people's houses are in your hands at that moment. And you don't know what can happen. There could be theft, arson, there's a lot of things that can happen. So we don't want to rape. A rape can happen. And you put your code in to open the door and then someone was raped inside the property. How does that work out? Do you think you're not gonna be called as a suspect?
I'm glad you brought that up.
Okay.
Jumping topic a little bit, but if you open up a door and if you can see somebody squatting, please don't show your client that property. If you open that door, you clearly see that it's supposed to be vacant and somebody is in there. You do not walk through. If your client is bold enough to walk through, let them go.
No.
I do.
You can, but I'm not.
I stand right outside, baby. I got 911 already
thing.
And that's a matter of choice. We're all three different agents.
You going?
I'm putting them up. So let me tell you what I'm going to do.
Okay.
I'm gonna put the monster out first of all.
Oh, somebody else.
You don't belong in here. First of all, you're in here making me uncomfortable. What are you doing in here? First of all, I'm not showing a property with somebody I don't know in here. Are you like, sir? Oh, excuse me. Because before you go in like this. What do? You then address it and deal with it that way. I'm getting ready to have a whole issue. This is ready to go down.
What's going to go down?
That one.
This one?
That one. So, we can just go forward.
I got the extension
Over
cord
there.
over here.
Okay, we good. I just had to drop this down here. Put this right here. And teamwork makes the dream work. How about that? We just did that real quick. So I'm gonna go over this again. You find a brokerage. You join an association. You add Bright MLS. You add your Central Lock card. Most likely, if you can't afford it, you will afford it because it's the cost of doing business. All right. The next thing you do after you get your Central Lock card, If you did not get your business cards from your brokerage, you need to order business cards. You need to have a way of marketing yourself and doing business at a high level. So
And do not be a secret agent. Market yourself on Facebook. Market yourself in public. Market yourself.
What is a transaction coordinator, and do we need to hire them right away? And how long would you take to hire them, Marcia?
So I don't have one. No, I need to get one though, but I don't have one because I have separation anxiety. So I'm just.
She's controlling.
Yes,
that's
I am.
what that is.
I am. I'm controlling, and I like it tight.
She like to me
And
tight.
if a person can't, that's why I like it tight. And so if I don't feel like a person can deliver like me, which I know somebody can, I'm too afraid to release.
And that's fair. What about you?
Yes, I do have a transaction coordinator.
Now, you have a virtual or one that's in the office?
She's virtual.
Okay,
She's local to Maryland, but she is virtual. And she is also a licensed agent. My transaction coordinator is absolutely phenomenal. I did just hire her probably not even a month ago now. And she has been absolutely phenomenal. It just got to a point where my hands was just full. And I understood I could no longer do it alone. I needed that second set of hands. I'm not just a realtor. I run a full real estate company along with several services along the way. So I'm pulled in multiple directions, including building some other businesses. So I'm full. So once I realized
real full.
I just can't do it.
Can't eat them.
I can't do it anymore. So hiring Alyssa was absolutely the best thing that I could do. She's literally thorough. She's on her job. The timelines are tight. The emails are flying, and her follow-up is unmatched. So I'm absolutely thrilled that she was referred to me from another agent, and he was, and he's an agent that in this case, right away, like most agents, we want to make sure you understand you want to make sure you understand the business. You want to make sure you understand the systems. You want to make sure you understand the paperwork, because ultimately the responsibility still falls on you as an agent. On you as an agent if something is not done. So you want to make sure that you understand the business, you understand the paperwork, you understand timelines, you understand if something's going wrong before.
Again, Antonio Valdez. How you doing?
Before you pass these things off. Now, some brokerages will automatically hire a TC and say, "Oh, well, you don't even have to touch the paperwork.
They
have a transaction, right?" But I really think in the beginning it does the agent a disservice, because that's a part of the transaction you're not touching, but that's a very important part of the transaction
that you must learn.
Because ultimately the responsibility falls on you. I seen a post on social media not long ago in this very scenario. An agent posted about. So the short end of it is there was an issue with her that me, but when it all flushed out in the wash, of course, they was blaming
the agent.
her. So she, as the agent, was trying to shift that. Oh, I did. A lot of us veterans
own your stuff, girl.
It's your responsibility. If the TC messes up, the contract is still in your name.
And what you should have done when you were having that TC start reviewing your documents and doing work for you, you should have went behind each and every document that they were touching.
Correct.
Because what I had to learn was early on, because I was not a paperwork guy. Now, I knew the information. I could tell you what a contract has, what it goes through, all of that. But I always, let me be honest, always have had an assistant from almost day one, because I am a guy that was not into details. I am a guy that was into the big picture. The big picture, like 20,000. I want 50 million this year. That's how much transactions I wanted. And I didn't. How do you get there? So you need help actually. So in my understanding, I knew I needed. I came from I might have only needed one, but I wasn't shampooing or putting nobody under the dry. I was gonna trim them, cut them dry. That was all I was doing. I was gonna put them under. I was pretty much not gonna touch until it was time to curl. The color was, I had to mix the color, and I give it to my assistant, and they put it in. So, to never leave the lab track. I need to be very successful. One man army don't win all the time.
Yep.
Now, bigger transactions and understand them. For me, I'm not that smart. Okay, I'm just being
everybody's
so
educated.
I understand what we're doing, but I'm not I need to go out and touch the next client. So my whole thing was next client, work in my lane, work my gift. My gift was not the paperwork. Any brokerage that I've been at, they tell you for the first few months, yeah, I had to adjust to their paperwork. But I do a lot of transactions. So as soon as I understood the paperwork, I could pass it off easy. So I'm on to the next client. Then, sometimes you become complacent when you become busy. And you rely on your TCs and admins too much. So one thing that happened, this is why I say it's very important what Alicia said, and I go back to what Marcia said, you must be involved in your transaction and understand it, because when I had 2 transaction coordinators and 1 left. What do you think happened to me? Because then the other one went out on vacation. Tell me how many deals I closed then. Because it wasn't the fact that I didn't know how to write a contract. It wasn't the fact that I didn't understand how to do a deal. It was the fact that I had become so complacent and comfortable with everybody else doing my work, not reviewing transactions, because I had systems in place, but the systems did not benefit me at the end, because when those people are removed from your system, the bigger system, you're left lost. And I had 20 transactions end up being like 10, 9, because I didn't understand where A met Z and how to get there. So that's very important that you stay involved in your transaction. Even if you hire a TC, TC is necessary. I think you should take your first 6 months and not hire anybody, at least 6 months.
You have to.
Some people say to hire somebody right away. No, I don't believe that. Maybe one of them might. But in me, I believe you need to understand what you're writing, understand your contractual obligations, understand who you're dealing with, get to know the agents, even if you have a TC. Don't have the TC reach out to the agent. If you need to understand something about the property before you write the offer, you reach out and then say, warm transfer. My TC will be contacting you with the contract. It was called contract to close. But normally I don't even do that anymore. Even though I'm very experienced, I understand what I'm doing. My assistant is by far the best in town. Mine sit in the office with me.
But it builds character. It helps you to understand it. In the beginning is you have to understand that something needs to go before the board.
You're gonna eat it.
You're gonna eat it. And you probably something that you probably could have caught had you even understood where the issues lie. So passing it off like, oh, I don't want to do it. None of us do. Meaning, like Pete said, right? Like Pete said, you want to go out and get more contracts. We want to go out and get more business. We trying to lead gen. We trying to do all of these things. But all of those things in your day-to-day is just important as the back-end paperwork. Because if something falls, it falls on you. And if you don't even understand where the issues are, you can't even try to start it. So I would just say, please don't hire a TC right away. And even if you choose to join a broker or team that has a TC, I would challenge you to still be very involved in your deals and in your paperwork for the first to finish. You can understand the issues that come up. If a signature is missing, what do I do? If I miss an addendum, what do I do?
The initial is
If an
gone.
initial is missing, what do I do?
And is it a ratified contract?
Is it a ratified contract?
Or is it voidable?
I just had an instance where a deal I'm supposed to close on next weekend, she was actually what we call a twofer. So I sold her home and now she's about to purchase her new home.
What is that called? A twofer.
So when we when we closed on her home, and she was a client that I kind of had to hand. I mean, she purchased a long time ago, so she just needed some help. So I kind of handheld her through the deal.
Antonio, about this.
So at this meeting, she could still stay in her property even though it was sold for a period of time. Well, the short end of it is the listing agent somewhere along the way changed the terms on the post-settlement occupancy agreement and never said anything. So my client was not comfortable. They had her to sign it at the closing table, but she saw it by reading it and never said anything until the room kind of cleared out. So after the room cleared out, she came and said to me, I don't agree with the form. And I was none the wiser. I'm like, what are you talking about? So long story short, when she started explaining it, I understood the form was altered. So naturally, I had to deal with that on the back end. We won't go into
altered means fraud.
Correct. We won't get into what went on with that. But meaning, had I not wrote the contract, had I not understood the terms and the details of the contract, ultimately the way it should be.
Pause. I want to say this.
Mm-hmm.
One contract, one initial is not worth your license.
Mm-hmm.
We work so hard to get these licenses and keep them. They're expensive to keep. There's a lot of training that comes with it. I don't think it's very admirable, and you don't have much integrity when you're changing an initial and signing. Do not put yourself in a position to sign anything that's not your signature.
Correct.
Because it will get you bit in your tail in a major way, and you'll pay a fine, and you'll still probably lose your license.
Correct.
So the thing is, it's not worth that. It's not worth it at a high level because
Correct.
people might be upset initially,
Correct.
but they will come to understand if you explain to them clearly. And sometimes I don't explain clearly. Let me just be honest. I always assume that people understand what I'm talking about, and sometimes I operate at a disadvantage. So my assistant follows up in an email, so that if I half-ass explain something, which I don't mean to, but I'm on to the next thing thinking they got it. And they're like, oh, okay. And okay mean they don't understand that shit. That's what it means. Hey, guys, because I was moving to the next thing.
Right.
So with that understanding, I know that's my era or the area that I need improvement on. I then slow my or do you understand? Mm-hmm. And they might be, oh, okay, I think. Then I go back over it. Because if maybe they'll say, oh, I got it, Pete. Mm-hmm. That means, and when they re-explain, then that means they got it.
And sometimes you have to explain things 2 or 3 times.
About four,
and then you have to put it in writing. Because I mean, I have a few clients that I'm working with now that I know
they stuck on slow.
Right, they don't understand, and
can I say something?
So we just have to explain and make sure that it's understood. And like he said, send an email.
Follow up email.
Even if you don't send it like as soon as you hang up the phone. But when you wrap it up for the evening, you sit down for a second saying, let me catch up on my emails. Let me send this out. Recap. Hey, just following up on a conversation we had earlier, don't forget XYZ is this, or don't forget our appointment tomorrow is this, or remember we talked about the appraisal gap and it's this. Put it in an email.
The recap is really just to cover your behind.
Correct.
Because the person
Cover
still
your-
don't understand
Correct.
what you said.
And if they don't get it, now you
It
just
just
say,
something right.
I'll put it in
You have
writing.
to cover your
So the
behind.
I was
one
speaking
thing-
with Linda earlier, and she said, "Oh, you notice I sent everything in writing." Correct, because we both have a client that we know communication is not the best.
Mhm.
You know, we've been working with her, getting her to understand some things, but the Linda and I quickly realized
Well, I had a client cuss me out.
kind of where
Well,
she was
the
wrong.
bottom line is with this client. So we both know
You see
we're
this?
sending an email and we're copying each other and everything.
Every time you do real estate, I'm gonna say the third thing you should do. Let's say after you join your board, after you got your centralized, after you bought your Bright, you need a book.
Yes.
One, I don't want to hear about I got notes on my phone.
Yes.
That's bullshit stuff. Okay,
Yes.
you need a book
Yep.
and a pen.
Absolutely.
You need this because guess what? While you're in a transaction, while you're talking to a person, while I'm sitting here in front of y'all, everything that I talk about that's of any importance,
We're right.
I'm writing it down. And it's important that you keep a journal every day of your real estate career. Because when you get called to the carpet, you can tell them every month. So every month, you guys, you know what I do? I buy a new book every single month. So every month, I know that this book, if I didn't go through it in all of May, it has become May and June. And then I'll have a June book. Because I actually started this book at the end of May. And I wrote everything down. So my book was still money, not that $1.99 book, $6 book matters, but it's important. Buy one with spiral binding. Do not buy a book that's bound like this because you will lose pages. They will come out. You need spiral that is holding in there. And if it rip half of it, the other half is still in there. You need that because you have to prove stuff at time. You have to go back and say, did I send that to them? So when I finish sending something, you know what I do? I have a thing called the Trello board. When I need my assistant to do anything, I don't do it all the time like I'm supposed to, but I do it 90% of the time. And the other 10% is written in my book at all times. Because I'm down. You don't know the notes well. Now some people pull up and they have them. I am talking to you and I can't write and do all that. No, I cannot. But I can say, wait a minute. All right, we going to home inspection on. And then I write all of that down. You understand? But I cannot do that. Take a notes, take a phone call, drink a drink, drive to the next property. I'm not all that. I'm not that guy. I know.
Right, like that.
Antonio Valdez.
We're gonna call him. I'm gonna message him when he's done.
It's almost done.
Wines. Sangria is this kind. It is amazing. It is phenomenal. It is not paid for on this podcast. But I'm sure as much as I have talked about it and used it and drank it, we'll have a sponsorship very shortly. Very, very shortly. Thank you, Antonio. Appreciate you. All right, that was that.
That's it.
No, we're almost done. We're wrapping up. We know you've been with us for a moment, or you didn't tune into us, and you looked at us a little bit later, and that's okay too. But my name is Pete France. Once again, this is Alicia. This is Marcia, and we're just here to enlighten you. Today's topic, we're dealing with real estate, and what do you do to get into real estate? So we've joined a brokerage, we've joined an association, we've joined Bright, we've added our central lot, we got business cards. What do we do next to wrap it up?
I always tell my mentors they need to begin looking at, my mentees, they need to begin looking at headshots. You need to begin to look at your supplies. And the greatest pushback is always, well, I don't have no money. And I understand getting into real estate and starting your business is super, super
Expensive.
However, the we get that the money may not be there, but just like anything else, you put it on your to-do list and you strive to get it.
So how can you get the money as a new agent? There are some ways that you can earn some money,
Correct.
and you just got licensed. So you can pay for you can actually work as an assistant for me.
Team. Mm-hmm.
Come in and do some work, do some lead gen. You could do some showing of some properties. You could join a team. That would be something important to do, because if you join a team, 9 times out of 10 they have an overflow and a plethora of leads. And maybe you'll even get to cooperate in actions so that you can get some experience. Go on a listing appointment. You know, that's what a mentor does. I don't mentee. I'm a mentor, but I do 1 to 2 people at a time. These monsters, these ones.
No, I only.
My girlfriend Dion, that's Wainwright pal.
My cap is 8.
She want to have a whole bunch, a team. She got a low league football team of new agents. No, ma'am, no, sir, no, thank you. Y'all are too stressful. You give me a job plus a job, I will only take a few of y'all folk. And 9 times out of 10, some of y'all think y'all know every dang one thing. So when y'all join some of us, like somebody, you say, oh, you're so busy, I didn't want to call. No, you are so controlling and you want to let go of the things that you think you heard. You took a class and learned something on the internet, and you think you got the game all sold out. No, man, no, sir, and no thank you. You still can get your license took, and you still can make a mistake.
Yeah. And we've seen it. We've seen that. I had one
left and right.
One new agent, and I was not her mentor, and called me to always call me when she done dug a rabbit hole for herself.
Rabbit hole.
And I would always tell her, "Will you stop going down these rabbit holes? At some point, I'm not going to be able to pull you out of these holes."
At least you're kind enough to do that.
Will you just?
I actually send them because I'm not getting into no mentor fight.
Yeah, no. I get you. Yeah, I don't. See, but I'm.
They done told the mentor. I told.
But when she would call me, I'm just like, "Look, you about to go down this hole that you don't have no business in. So please don't go down rabbit hole."
Well, I'm not doing all of that. I'm gonna tell you this. You dig it.
She finally stopped calling, so I think she finally learned. Yeah, I think
you dig yourself a hole. Now I might show you how to get out the hole. I'm gonna show you the good, the bad, and the ugly. I'm gonna present it to you, but I'm also gonna say this service is not free because you have to appreciate and respect your business. And if you're taking my time, and 9 times out of 10 y'all want to call with emergency at 9, 10, 11 o'clock, and something that you shouldn't have told them. You should have gotten advice first.
Correct.
Sought help.
That's the
and understanding before you told the client, oh, you can do that. Oh, I know you can. And then I'd be like, that's illegal.
Right.
Or if you can't do that, they can do it. Right? It's either or. They'll tell you can't do something that you can do.
9 times out of 10,
you can't do something
they wrong.
Correct.
So when they're wrong, and I don't mean to hurt anybody's feelings. I'm very compassionate, I understand it. But I don't like bullshit. Okay? I smell bullshit. I did this a long time. So I smell it. So when you start lying to me, I don't want to talk about it. Like, I'm like, either be honest and upfront so I can help you get out of it, or help you understand the ways that you have to deal with it. Because 9 times out of 10 now, I got to call the broker. Right. Because if you did not do X, Y, and Z, I then need to, and I'm one of those, I ain't gonna say that. I'm not gonna call you my whole, but they call me to fix some problems. Like, we talk about problems and work them through to make sure they're legal and compliant.
Correct.
You know, and sometimes there are people that are forward and fast thinkers. That's what I do. So if there's an issue that you present me, I'm 9 times out of 10, we can figure out a way to make it legal and figure it out. But you can get over on people and take people money and do the wrong thing and mislead them down the road and tell them the house ain't if you know something is a certain way and you understand the answer to the certain way, please don't let them figure that out on their own. You gotta come and get help. And if you don't want to understand how to do it and the right way to do it, don't have a mentor. Do it yourself, fail forward, and maybe lose your license. I'm just gonna be honest. I mean, I don't have time for
But
it.
get your license first, and then come talk to us,
Correct.
and we will guide you.
And get
You
you
gotta
off
take the
to the
PSI.
and go get off to the correct stuff.
Yeah, there are. So we are done at
We're done.
that with that. So the bottom line is, you're gonna have to take a PSI test. That is the state test. You're gonna have to study for that.
Absolutely.
You're gonna have there are online in person or online at your own pace. Okay, there are 3 different ways. They only used to have, I gotta come to this class. That's what I did.
From
Like,
7 to 10.
I gotta show up from 6 to 10 for 4 weeks.
Yep.
Okay, so now you can do it at your own pace.
And don't miss out. Don't miss.
Don't miss no time.
Don't miss no minute.
You can then come in and then know that you're here every 2 years.
That's every 2 years.
So you need 15 hours.
You can
Then-
get at least 10
Well, I
of
need
them from
2 extra. You
PBR.
need 2 extra ones for what is that? Supervising. If you have people under you
So
or
like
you're
the
doing
teams
training
and
or
programs.
yeah, you have to have that. So if you're 3 years in, then you can teach or help.
And please don't renew your license without doing those 15 hours.
Correct.
That's a
Because,
whole
honey,
nother
license.
We need to get
That's
it
a
in
whole
this.
Even if it's a half an hour, like talk about
It's
this.
enough.
And it's
We
a whole
gonna
lot
go
of them out there on that.
You know what we should do?
I
They
get
Go
every
through
month.
a list of violations that people with the things that people get in trouble for.
What happened?
And what happens to people when that should be the next class.
I think
What happens when you don't do the right thing. And what are the thank
that's
God
not important.
we're not
The
in that
situation is
situation.
important.
But the situation and how it's handled by the real estate commission, people they and the our administration that handle your license, because there are a lot of different facets. You have a mediation versus hearing, a real hearing. So we could talk about that the next time. So legal issues, complex issues, things
Ways
that
to
could
lose your license.
things that could put you in
Yeah.
a place to not be legally licensed anymore. And I think that would be a very helpful topic to some before they even get into business, and for some that have just gotten into business, because you really sometimes don't even know. You don't even know what people are getting in trouble for,
Correct.
and that's very important.
All right.
All right, so we've enjoyed tonight. I've talked a whole lot. I've drank a lot. I'm drinking a little more.
Just go ahead.
Y'all want some more? You sure? Okay, well, I'll have the rest of this sangria. You guys, this has been phenomenal.
Great.
I finished it, Antonio Valdez. You see this? It was great for me. So that means I'm gonna patronize his business first of all. Let's say that. And I definitely admonish you to do the same. And I thank you for taking the time to spend some time with us. Alicia and Pete. We've been an hour and 10, and really an hour because it took us 10 minutes to get this thing right again, and a great success. We thank you for sharing
Thank
time
you.
with us.
Thanks, guys.
We appreciate you.
Bye-bye.
Have an amazing evening.
Thank you.
All right. I know you don't want to cut off, but please cut off. because it's time to go. Good night. Good night, sweetheart. Well, you know, the computer just does not want to end. I have tried.
So then this is, where can listeners find your podcast?
Oh,
Do we want it on Google
yes,
Play?
everywhere.
Yeah,
Yes.
just say that. Your podcast is publishing is not available